Hello and welcome to ScreamingEaglesGaming.com. My name's Dreams to Freedom, and I am here with my partner Gun Devil 2, and we're going to be doing a review of Lost Planet 2 today on this video podcast.
Yeah, we got our hands on a copy of the game, and we played it local split screen, and we played it online. 2 other guys, 4 players in total, through online co-op, and we kind of, bottom line up front, we didn't like the game enough to actually move on to the online multiplayer. And so we're mainly going to use the main portion of this podcast to talk about the campaign portions of the game.
Yeah, starting off, I think the biggest thing we probably noticed right off the bat is the graphics were pretty kick butt. That was probably the best aspect of the game, don't you think?
Yeah, the graphics were pretty good. You definitely have to have the right hardware to get the graphics where they need to be. You have to have the HDMI and all that. It just, the right TV. It's just a total different gaming experience. Next best is probably like the 4-player co-op. It's just pretty awesome when you can jump into a game with 3 other guys and start blowing legs off some aliens. It's pretty cool. In the game, there's a wide variety of weapons, and it's pretty easy to change between them. The only thing that I didn't like about the weapons is that you can only hold 2 guns at one time, and then if you want anything else, you have to throw one down. You could have one grenade type at a time. Well, I didn't like that too much either. You can pretty much hold up to 10 of whatever type of grenades that you were wanting to carry, if you can find them. But you still had a wide variety of items to pick up. It's just that you're very limited on what you could actually carry.
The guns kind of all kind of sounded the same too. There really wasn't much difference between the sound of the guns. You know what I mean? When you're shooting one and you're shooting other, they basically all sounded kind of the same. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they were pretty similar.
But the guns were cool. They were big, but one thing I noticed too is even though you had this like gigantic honker gun, it like did almost the same amount of damage as your little machine gun that you start off with.
Yeah, it almost seemed like the most destructive gun in the game, or most powerful, was the sniper rifle. Because Shatter 2, you were just like blowing off legs or tentacles of the Acrid left and right.
Right.
But it might take like 3 or 4 rockets to do it. So that was kind of odd in a sense.
One other thing that I found weird about the game was the controllers. Actually using the controls on the configuration. They're so much different than other type of shooter games. Even though this is a third-person shooter, not a first-person shooter, but the controls were kind of wonky.
Yeah, and the B button. It seemed like you almost did everything with the B button. It was they could have put some of the button uses like spread out between some of the other ones. They didn't have to use the B button for everything. It's like when in doubt, hit the A or B button, but mainly the B button.
That's funny. Some of the down points, actually the big down points for me, were the storyline. I think was really horrible. It had absolutely no, coherent direction. It was everywhere. And then one of the biggest other things that I noticed about the game that I really disliked was when you were fighting the Acrid, it seemed like you were in a very vulnerable position where if you got cornered by the Acrid, they could kill you over and over and over again before you had time to even respond to what they were doing. So those were 2 big flaws for me when it came to the gameplay. The third one that I think I disliked the most was sprinting. When you were trying to sprint, you held down the button and you really didn't go any faster. Your guy just kind of moved a little faster, like his arms would go a little faster, but you weren't going much faster, and it was hard to direct your guy when you were running. So those were 3 big turnoffs for me.
Yeah, whenever you sprinted, it was kind of like a rejected form of a Gears of War sprint. It wasn't anywhere near a Gears of War, but it's almost like they tried. It didn't do too great. It really wasn't all that easy to maneuver your player as well. Another big turnoff is whenever you're doing split screen cooperative play throughout the campaign, is that whoever's logged in as the first player seems to get all the credit when you're playing the game. So when I was playing over Dreams to Freedom's studio, me and him were playing, and I noticed that after the first couple levels, like he's the only one getting the achievements, which achievements big deal, but sometimes there's competitions you do, and there's people out there that love the achievements, so it's a really big turnoff for that fan base of the 360 games, because I actually wound up playing it with him for like 2 days and didn't get a single achievement. And then when you level up with your character, the second player doesn't get any of the experience either. So, it could be it's a real big turnoff, because when I got back to my studio and I started playing it, I actually had to start all over from the very first level with no credit to the game. And it's just starting from scratch, and I don't know, it's a big turnoff in my opinion.
Another thing that made it suck too was whenever you would finish a chapter inside of the episode, it wouldn't save. So if you didn't complete the entire episode, you actually had to start all over from the beginning. And some of those episodes took an hour or more. So halfway through, if we had to stop, we had to start the whole episode all over, which really sucked.
Yeah, I think the way it was broken down is they had episodes. We never even made it to the end of the game. I think we made it to the 4th episode and just gave up because it really wasn't all that exciting of a game. As episodes, I think each episode had 3 chapters, and inside the chapters they had missions. I think some chapters had like 1 mission, but the majority of them seemed to have like right around 3 missions. And the thing is that, like it was saying, the chapters, like it'd go from episode 1-2 for episode 1 chapter 2. And you couldn't, it would not save your game unless you beat every single mission within chapter 2. And like he was saying, it could take you, 30 minutes to an hour to beat all the missions. And so if you're at the very end, and the way it is, like, you don't have a number of lives, you basically have a battle gauge. And every time someone dies, it takes off a certain amount of points from your battle gauge. And once your battle gauge reaches 0, you have to start that whole chapter over, all the way from the very first mission in that chapter. And I don't know, they should put either some checkpoints, some save checkpoints in the missions, or just made it to where it saved after the mission would even be better than starting every mission over. It's pretty annoying, especially if you're playing online. When we played a 4-player co-op, we get a Yahoo in there who'd start killing themselves or just running out there and not trying to play ball with the team at all, and was getting themselves killed, and it was pretty annoying having to start everything all over again.
Yeah, so we're running out of time here, so we're gonna have to wrap this one up. This is our initial podcast, our very first one. So forgive us if there's a little bit of stuttering and stammering going on. We're gonna get better, but overall, what do you give the game?
Overall, I think I would give the game like out of a 10, probably like a 6.5. It was okay to play. It's just like play with people that aren't going to fool around too much, because playing those levels can pretty much piss you off. And play on your own Xbox. Don't play split screen.
Yeah, 'cause split screen blows.
So, yeah, this is Gun Devil 2 and
Dreams to Freedom.
And visit our site at screamingeaglesgaming.com and join up and start being members and start posting content at will.
No doubt.